Welcome to Sin City and the grand finale of this year's edition of the Vegas Shoot. We've got the highlights of 3 thrilling compound championship shoot-offs. This is a survive or die tournament. Miss a point and you're out. And these world-class shooters have already made it through 3 days and 90 arrows of competition. First up, we have the senior championship category where multi-time defending champion Keith Trail was going up against challenger Bill Drake. Our first end of the championship compound senior for the win. We are going archer by archer, world archery style, and kicking it off is Keith Trail.
And this is a little different than they've ever done, so it'll be interesting to see kind of the responses and how they react.
You can see the nerves there.
Yeah.
It just didn't look like Keith had a positive shot. His timing looked off just a little bit.
And that means a lot. I mean, now Keith's going to feel the pressure and have to at least put something in there to make sure he has a chance.
In this end of scoring, the X and the 10 ring, those 2 rings in the middle count as the same score. The highest score wins.
Good looking shot. I can see a little nerves, he's shaking a little bit, but he's executing really well. He's got a good follow through and it seems to be working really well.
All right, so Keith needed that, but it's going to be a 9 to tie or a 10 to win for Bill Drake.
And this is the hard part, sitting there and you can't do anything about what you've got. There's no playing defense in archery.
So you shake, and he got it, he delivered, so just like that, Bill Drake will take it on 3 arrows. On the 1 arrow, Keith Trail wanted back, and Bill Drake able to snap Keith Trail's domination of the championship compound senior category, in which since Keith has entered the championship senior class, is able to win it. Yeah, I think it's been 3 years, right? Because Keith is 56 years old.
No.
So Keith Trail will take 2nd place, and Bill Drake will take the win.
And it's starting to hit him. And like you walk around, you're like, whoa, like I just did this.
Last year it went 8 ends before we decided on it, so I expected a couple, but the nerves were as much as I've ever experienced. So I'll tell you what, these guys are the most supportive of anybody I've ever shot with, to be honest. And it's been a pleasure shooting with Michael and Keith and Randy and all those guys. It's pretty cool.
It was fast and furious, but congratulations to Bill Drake on his win. But here in South Point Hotel Casino, Las Vegas, Lico Areola, 14 years old, was able to shoot a perfect 900. And we put this together for you.
I scored a 900, a perfect score. I was happy because I saw my parents, they were proud of me, and I was overexcited, yeah. I started archery by my dad. He used to do archery before, but when he saw like little kids shooting, he thought it would be a good idea for me to shoot. So he got me into archery. Last year was my first time shooting the championship. During the tournament, I was kind of nervous, but my dad was talking it through me, and I kept pacing myself, staying calm as best as I could, and keep on trying. Being around them was like huge for me because they're like the people I look up to, kind of. I love shooting with them. They're so nice and sweet, and I was kind of nervous at some points, but it was fun. It's just surprising how people know me. It's shocking. It helped me get more, I guess, a scholarship, meeting new people, getting interviewed, and all that. I would say just try your best, and if you want to achieve something, just go for it.
3 incredible women who shot perfect 900s would line up to shoot arrow for arrow. Kenya Galantine, Paige Pierce, and 2021 champ Lico Areola. The championship compound female first end to decide the winner is done by score, normal scoring. So inside either of those 2 rings is a 10. Highest score can win it outright on the first end. If we tie on score, we advance to the next round. Lico Areola opens up with a 10, also an X down low.
Which for this round doesn't mean anything. But still, it gives you some confidence.
You can see Lico looking back at coach's box.
It's got to be a little different with this going on this way, because before you could just get in a rhythm and roll. So I'm going to be curious if, like with the man, if it changes how far it goes.
This is totally different though, isn't it?
Oh, it's so different.
This is kind of World Archery style, but normally in World Archery, it's just two shooters. With these three, that pause between arrows is a little longer. Great delivery.
Excellent shot. She's a little happier with her timing. Was a little better on that one than the first one. The first one took a little longer. That one was really a good shot.
And we are in a privileged position right now, as our commentary position is right behind the shooter, so we get a good look at the hold and the release. Kate holding a little longer than normal, but she waits for it to get to where it needs to go and delivers.
Good, solid. I mean, to come through and execute with that long a hold, she did awesome.
Tanya with a nice solid 10. And you can see on Tanya's release, she uses a huge button to get that done. And Lico is actually using a different type of release than Tanya is.
It's a hinge that works on, as you rotate it, it opens it up, and it releases as it comes by the half moon and comes off and opens the release head to let it go with the string. So it's a little different.
Lico looked back to her coach's box to make sure she was done shooting. She checked her quiver for her arrows. So we're just seeing X's across the board.
And sometimes this, when it comes to this, it would be more relaxing, and I would try to figure out how I was going to shoot the X more, because you knew it was going to count. Ooh, but it's really, I think it's solid, but it's really not, because it's not, X's don't matter right now.
Right now. If
Yes.
this was our second end, that would be disastrous for
Yes.
Tanya. But it looks like it's going to be a 10. But
Yeah.
now what happens?
Yeah, they go down and they get a look at it, and as you can see, Tanya's got her binoculars out and trying to look at it from every angle, and the tension till they call it is a lot. I mean, not too bad with 3 archers, but when there's men and there's 23 out there, boy, it can build some good anxiety up in your body.
Yeah, I bet.
But look at them all. I mean, Paige is looking at it too. They're talking. And she's got to wait for them judges. The anxiety has got to be just at a level we're just not used to having.
Yeah. And for these archers too, these athletes, you know, they shoot together quite often at national competitions. So there is friendships that are built, even though there is competition, like you were talking about with Chance Bobeth not too long ago. So as the judges have made their call, Bruce call. All right, so she did get a 30, so she caught that line. That's all you need for this competition at the moment. Is all you need to do is just touch the line and you get the higher point value. Paige Pierce, that was easy. She's also 30. And then for Lico, a 30.
And sometimes that's good, because you get that one bad shot out of the way and you feel like, ooh, I got away with it.
Yeah.
Now I can roll.
That's right. And you could see it too, right at the last moment with Tanya, that she just had a bit of a bobble.
Yeah, she knew it, but she's like, I want to hang a new target. I don't want to look at that bad hole.
All right, let's talk about that for a second, Rio, because there's so many ways for compound archers to see through their scope setup. So we have a sight with a scope, and it's adjustable left and right, up and down for the different distances, and obviously the way your entire rig is set up. But in terms of how it actually aims on target, which is your preference? Because you could have a fiber pin, you can have a big dot on a lens, you could have a small dot on the lens. What do you choose?
I choose a dot, and I can tell you why, because I don't know if it's my mental side or what it is, but if I put a pin up there, my body wants to see behind it. It's like, hey, what's back there? Hey, what's going on? And so to me, with the dot, I can center it up and let it just set in the middle and execute the shot.
And when we look at the yellow part of the target, so that's the X ring, the 10 ring, and the 9 ring, how much of your dot actually covers that part of it?
My dot's just about the size of the 10 ring.
All right, so
Okay, this is when we switch. From now on, it's still sudden death end by end, but the X counts as the 10. Scored regularly, X counts as the 10. Shooters to the line, good luck.
All right, so as it sits, it's the second end of competition for the championship compound female. Scoring has changed now to the inner ring, which is known as the X ring. That is the only one that counts as a 10. Lico Areola starts us off.
10.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, she just caught that line.
And doing this alternating, it's like, oh, just what a relief I got it. Now the others get to try and match it.
Great shot from Paige.
Solid.
Keep in mind, all three of these women have won this before.
9.
So
So that's a 9.
Now again, like, you can't play defense, so you're hoping for them to help you out a little, because otherwise you're done.
And the key is to put it out of your mind. Not say as an archer, door's open, I gotta slam the door, just to go through your process. And Lico does it.
And it's hard to do. I mean, with the alternating, it's different. When we used to shoot straight up, you'd hear what I called the ooh birds. When somebody misses, you hear ooh, as we did when Tanya did. But at least this one, you're getting to see what they did, so you know the ooh birds aren't your tattletale. It's getting to see it.
So for Tanya Galantine, just to keep the ropes alive, she's gonna put it right in the 10 ring. She does. But after such an outstanding weekend of shooting, 82 X's and a perfect 900 score, for it to come down like this, the potential for heartbreak unless one of these two archers, or both of them really, do 9s, and it doesn't happen. So for Lico Areola, she sets the benchmark.
So you need Paige needs at least an X to tie it and keep it moving.
Or Lico's gonna be champion.
Little bobble there. Weeks are up.
9.
Oh, that's it.
Lico's the champion.
Lico's the champion. 2 ends of competition.
And Tanya needs this to at least have a chance at second. If she misses this, she ends up third. It could be all decided right there on this arrow.
Good move. She still has 25 seconds on the clock to shoot. Taking a deep breath.
Which is somebody who shoots World Archery, you get 20 seconds per arrow anyway, so it's not a big time thing. She should be able to execute a good shot and get on it.
Just to keep this going for second place. She's got it. So, Lico Areola, clearly the winner, and back-to-back championships. She does it at 13 years old, and now she does it at 14. Incredible. Under immense pressure. Looking at her coach, what do you want me to do now? Take a picture or go down to the target? Didn't really want to bring your bow, but that's okay.
Hey, when you got that kind of nerves and you don't know what's going on, you just do what you got to do.
Two archers on the right have been through this a few times in their career, and they know what it's like. So here's confirmation.
Champion Vegas 2022, Lico!
So Lico Areola does it again. The pride of Hawaii.
It was really fun and shooting with Paige and Tanya. It was really fun. I've never done this, the shoot-off before, and it's really fun.
What an incredible start to a long archery career for Lico. Now it's time for the main event. 23 made it in with perfect 900s, and we have one lucky dog. So if you're just joining us, this is the Vegas Shoot 2022, and this is the big class, the Championship Compound Open. The winner of this shoot wins $50,000 from the Vegas Shoot. It's a 20-yard from shooting line to target face, just a little bit longer than 18 meters if you're not from the United States. They're shooting a 3-spot, 40-centimeter target face. And The scoring, Rio, is designed to knock people out as quickly as possible. Tell us about the scoring.
They do this one a little differently here. They'll do one end of the regular 10 scoring, and then it goes to the inner X, the size of a penny, for over $50,000, which it's already hard enough to hit something the size of a penny at 20 yards, but throw that extra tension on it, and it just becomes even more impressive that anybody hits it.
And I'll add even more tension. You know, when you're in a group of 23 archers, which we have on the line right now, you can kind of understandably get lost in the wash. But as it whittles down and it becomes 5 people and 4 people and 3 people, then it really starts to get tense. So hands are in the air of how many people have been in the shoot-off. You can see there's a few, including 15-year-old Bodie Turner.
Yeah, his first appearance. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles it. I mean, 23 up there, like you said, you can get lost, but it's a different thing because think about it. You just shot 900, you miss in the first hand, you're 23rd.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned Stefan Hansen.
It was fun. I mean, it's such a hard little shoot. I mean, you just have to put a couple of arrows in the middle and be a little bit lucky that somebody miss. But I mean, I've been there before. Last year I made it, I think I got maybe second or third or something like that, and I was shooting very well. This year it was just like rolling. Like yesterday, it was very good in the 10K shoot-off also, and I was just tried to do the same thing.
Championship Compound Open, end number 1. Normal scoring, 23 archers lined up. Who's going to have the highest score, and who's going to drop out of this one?
It's always interesting because it usually is one.
Like one person dropped after the
One
first.
person, yep. I don't know why or what it is, but there's always one. And after 90 arrows, for it to walk out there and do it right there, it kind of is, I mean, it can't feel good, but it's, at least you made it there, but you're still on the first one out. Oh.
Jace Boyles on your right, Kyle Douglas, the reigning champ who earlier today got his championship ring. And there's Mr. Perfect, Mike Schlusser. Looks like he's got to let out a big breath. This is one archer who constantly is working. Carries a lot of weight on his stabilizers as well.
Practices a lot. Got a girlfriend who just won a medal at the Olympics, so they get to shoot together a lot. His wife,
How
yes.
dare you?
Yeah. Oh, she'll remind me later.
Jesse Broadwater's target looks pretty good.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen now is that they're shooting. Obviously, they're all shooting at one time. But as we start to whittle this field down and we get to a number probably around 10, they're going to start shooting one at a time. And that's really going to ramp the pressure up. Still 33 seconds on the clock. And it looks like, everyone's done. So end number 1 of the Championship Compound Open done and dusted. And for the first time in history, all archers are in. Every single archer shot a 30. Now it's to end number 2.
You see some people fixing their holes, some putting new faces up.
And your first scoring end in which the X counts as the 10. Scored regularly, not inside out. The X counts as the 10.
All right, so we just narrowed the field of view. We cut the scoring 10 in half, in essence.
And good luck.
Yeah.
So now we're going to see if you don't hit that baby 10 ring, the X ring in the middle, that counts as 9 points if you're in the gold anywhere. Obviously 8 in the red, 7, and then 6.
And the hard part is not changing how you shoot, because a lot of these guys shot a lot of good X's. And now in your mind, I got to hit it. So do they change and it causes like problems in how you shoot, or does it not? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. The unique shooting style of Jacob Marlowe. The Joker shot.
Yeah, for sure. He's got a different
big smile
anchor there. And Brody's binoculars come out, so not sure on that. So did Mikey's.
Yeah.
It's usually a sign that you're not confident in it.
Oftentimes in archery, we'll call that glassing. Glassing your arrow, taking those binos out and just taking a look. How many times do you wish you could change where it landed if you're looking through the binos?
As I had a guy once tell me, you can never have it back once you let it go.
Yeah, shooting an arrow is a broken egg, 100%. Kyle Douglas had a look with his binos. So Archer's starting to step off. Archery courtesy is if the shooter directly in front of you, directly behind you, or at full draw, you don't step off the line.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. It's just kind of a so you don't bump them while they're at full draw and shooting.
Gaius Carter in, and there's Sergio Pagni. Our last to shoot an arrow. Now let's see how many are dropped.
Yeah, this is going to get interesting. Perkins looks good. There's a few there that look good.
Marlowe's might be high on the bottom left.
Sergio's
A lot of these look good, though.
Yeah, there's a lot more there than I thought would be.
Yeah. All right, so we're starting this with 23 archers who all made it through the first end of scoring the first time in Vegas history, according to Bruce Cull. So we'll wait to hear these calls from Bruce. Rio, this is shocking.
Oh, to me, it usually cuts in half, but I mean, we've had what?
3. We've only had 3 shooters. Our number 1 qualifier, Jace Boyles, Richard Bowen, and Jacob Marlowe are the ones that have dropped.
Oh, yeah.
So Eric Jenkins is another one who drops, so now we're up to 4.
McCarthy, 30.
Dan McCarthy still in.
Stefan Hansen's got one out.
Hansen, 29.
Oh, what a heartbreak for Stefan Hansen fans. So we go from 23 shooters, 5 are out.
All right, gentlemen, same scoring, sudden death, N by N, X counts as 10.
Our third end for Championship Compound Open saw 5 archers be eliminated, so 18 now shooting for $50,000. Three arrows, 20 yards downrange, 40-centimeter target face, 1 minute and 20 seconds on the clock. Generally, we don't see compound archers taking the full amount of time, but occasionally, if something's not feeling right, you have plenty of time to let down and reset your shot.
Yeah, and there's a lot of, I mean, just like I said, man, it's impressive they all got through. That many got through in that end. I mean, as Bruce said earlier, once we get whittled down, we're going to go to, and Gaius right there letting up. This is the pressure is so much people don't realize, and that's a very disciplined shot. Hard thing to do. It's always easy to let it go, but to be disciplined is hard.
Yeah, and you can see some disappointment now in these archers. I mean, it's like holding a bag of $50,000 in your hand, and if you don't let down and you know you're fighting through a shot, it's like letting the bag of money just drop away from you.
Yeah, like the horse chasing the carrot. It's there, right there. You just can't get to it.
Jacob Pettit didn't like that shot.
Did not like that one.
Oh, no. Pettit, a fan favorite.
Nico, the reigning world outdoor champion. Did not like that one either.
And this rock, Danny McCarthy does not care about what people are watching, how much time. He just runs his own program, takes his own shots, and he sends his last one down range with 24 to go. But Danny looks like he's having another angle as well. Taking a look at it. Okay, so end number 3. We'll wait to hear what the high score is and who's going to match it. But we expect another cut, especially from a lot of the grimaces we've seen on archers' faces.
And the way people are walking down there.
Yeah.
You can tell that it's like, oh, man.
Well, Kyle Douglas is shaking some hands.
Oh, yeah, he's got a big 9.
Oh, yeah, huge. So Kyle Douglas, he does not do it.
Our high X count, both guys gone.
Yeah. Now, at the moment, Kyle Douglas sets the benchmark at 29 points. So if anyone has 30, they're going to knock him out. So 29 is 29.
Yeah.
All right. So but at the moment, both archers are still in. But the moment we hear 30, they're going to drop. That's it. So Bodie Turner knocks out Kyle Douglas and Mike Schlusser with his score. So that takes us down to 11 shooters.
Give them a big round of applause.
Heading into our fourth end of competition in the championship open category. We've gone from 18 archers down to 11 as we get closer to the $50,000 prize.
Shooters to the line. Good luck.
It's pretty surprising we haven't got down to where we're going to go to alternating arrows yet. I mean, usually when you go to that smaller X, it really thins out the shooters, but seems not to be that tonight.
The highest qualifier remaining in this one is 15-year-old Bodie Turner from Washington. He's on the right part of your screen. Chase Boyles, Kyle Douglas, and Mike Schlusser, your 1, 2, 3 qualifiers are gone. Look at Yankee fan. Bobby Eiler. Left part of your screen is Dan McCarthy. There's Alberto Velasquez from Spain. He's had such a great tournament here in Las Vegas, his first trip.
Yeah, and I'm hearing some U-birds. Not sure which targets we're hearing, but I'm hearing a few from the crowd.
Yeah, keep in mind, there's hundreds of people that are packed in here with 11 targets out there. You don't know which person's got binos on which targets, but there's definitely some oohs happening.
Yeah.
It looks like possibly Vasquez.
Yeah, that's what
There's
I'm
Bodie.
seeing.
Ooh.
This looks good, though.
Look good. A little bit of English on the back end. He's not going for the bino, so he's confident. Jesse Broadwater still in it. Uh-oh. Sometimes you can't tell with Jesse, but that particular look, I'm not sure that he liked what he saw.
Yeah, his top number 2 target looks a little right, but I can't tell with my naked eye as to where it really is.
Still on the line is Bobby Eiler. And Velasquez, let it go.
Rainey's got a high one, too.
Could this be the Vegas Shoot 2022 of young and new archers?
Turner, 30.
Bodie Turner with a 30. He sets the benchmark.
Right out of the gate.
Vasquez, 29.
So Velasquez will be our first to drop in our fourth end.
Broadwater, 29.
Oh, Jesse Broadwater is out. So his quest for another ends after 4 ends of competition.
Carter, 30.
Gaius Carter's still in it. Another young up-and-coming archer.
Eiler, 30.
Bobby Eiler, still good.
Shooters to the line.
So we'll start with Dan
X counts
McCarthy,
as 10. Good luck.
and he'll shoot one arrow that's going to go down the line for these 7 shooters. So all the pressure is on. Dan knows everyone's watching. He's been in this position before in ASA 100,000 times. But this is different. That one's a close one. 10-9 liner, because once again, what counts is
The inner X.
Justin, Hannah.
9.
Looks like it's out.
that one sailed a little high on Hannah.
And again, this is going to change because they're alternating. Sergio might have an advantage in this because he shot World Archery enough, and this is one of their processes.
Sergio Ponte, X-ring, almost inside out.
No problem for Sergio. Keep in mind, it's going to be the highest score. You got to tie to move on. So
And it's not just one arrow, it's all 3.
all 3.
Nick Capers with 10.
So Cappers, nice 10, as we've seen from him the last couple of weeks. Here's Bobby Eiler.
He's got a little longer hold than most, so it's not a big deal.
Butler, 10.
It's your choice which target you shoot in which order here in NFAA. Now Gaius Carter out of Arizona.
Gaius Carter with 9.
That one went out high for Gaius. And he's a little baffled. And I think he was just curious as to what that happened.
Bodie Turner, 10.
Bodie Turner, 10.
And that's pretty impressive going through all of them to get to the end. The pressure has got to build like tremendously, especially seeing guys miss, seeing guys hit.
And the desire just to knock your arrow up and want to shoot.
You're like the horse in the stall. Let me get out. Let me run.
Let's go. Second arrow for Dan McCarthy.
Dan looks good. Looking good.
So Justin Hanna trying to stop the bleeding.
Now this is where it's hard because you're like, I've missed one, but you got to remember, this is going to set your placing.
10 for 19 out of 20.
A 29 is going to help you out a lot better than a 28. Because if your other compadres that have missed one don't miss another one, they're going to finish ahead of you. So you try to make sure and put yourself in those places.
Our first Vegas Lucky Dog winner, Sergio Pagni.
10.
Riding in on a Chariot of Fire one time.
Yeah.
He'll get in with the 10. And Rio, this class, it's so deep, so many competitors. Championship Compound Open does pay back all the way to 40th. So in terms of prize, in terms of what goes on your resume, it is important to think about your overall placing.
Oh, for sure. Plus, we're all competitors. You want to finish as high as you possibly can. But that is one thing I have seen people do. Once they miss, they get mad, they miss more, rather than just focusing on and finishing up that end and ending it better off.
Yeah. Bob Eiler, 10. Yeah, this is not, though, a winner-take-all type tournament.
No.
They do pay well. There is a steep drop-off, though, from the first prize of $50,000 to second place.
10.
Both his arrows high. And you can see just the anxiety after missing that one. I mean, you know you're done, and can you keep up?
He does it again. 10.
So Bodie Turner still in the mix to the delight of the crowd. So I mentioned $50,000 for the win. The drop-off is $12,000 for second, $8,000 for third, $6,000 for fourth.
And the add on top of that, contingency has a pretty big drop-off on some of the other ones too, so it's a huge difference. A little longer hold. There you go.
But that's the patience of Dan McCarthy. He's been around long enough to know he's not going to shoot a shot that he's not 100% comfortable with, and he'll use the clock to his advantage.
And he's set the bar now. He's got the 30. So we've got to have somebody else at least do it to match him.
So it looks like Justin Hanna is going to be knocked out of this one with Dan McCarthy's 30. So yeah, all these other archers that are clean, they've got to execute one more shot to stay in it.
Sergio Pagni, 10-10-10.
Okay, so we know we're going to go to another end.
Yeah.
At least that's going to happen. Now Nick Cappers.
Capers, 10-10-10.
Now we got 3 into there.
So Cappers will advance.
We could have 5 going into the next stand if these two, if Bobby Eiler and Bodie shoot 10s.
Weiler appears to have shot a 9-29 officially.
So that would take us to 5 because we have 7. And so right now it looks like Hanna and Eiler because McCarthy's still in, Pagni is in, Cappers is in.
Gaius Carter with a 10-29.
Gaius is out.
Gaius is out, you're right, yeah. Sorry about that, yes.
So you can have McCarthy, Pagni, Capers, and Bodie if he gets this one.
Congratulations to Bodie. He did the right thing. He actually didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't go until the buzzer went off.
Yep. Paying attention to it.
You can see he's got plenty of time on the clock.
10.
Nailed it. The crowd loves this young archer, Bodie Turner. And because he's our highest place qualifier that remains in this, he's going to be scored first. So in terms of scoring, Bodie's going to set the benchmark for the rest of these archers.
And I think we've gone from 7 to 4.
All right, so there we go. Bodie Turner marches on with a 30.
Carter, 29.
All right, so Gaius Carter is out on our 5th end. Good shooting for Gaius.
Eiler, 29.
Bobby Eiler takes a seat.
Good run for all of them. I
Yep,
mean, to get to this
100%.
point, I hope people understand
Yeah.
how impressive this is.
Nick Capper's still in it.
Pawnee, 30.
Sergio Pagny, still good.
A lot better this time than last time. Last time he was wiping the sweat from his brow, and this time he's
Hannah,
feeling a little more comfortable.
29.
So Justin Hanna, he's out with a 29.
Good shooting by
And
Justin.
McCarthy,
Yep.
30.
And Dan McCarthy, as we know, is still in it. All right, so Rio, how about this? If we look at our top 16 qualifiers that came in to the Championship Compound Open, I'm talking about shooters like Jay Spoils, Kyle Douglas, Mike Schlusser, shooting 86, 84 X's. Of the top 16 that qualified, only Bodie Turner remains. The rest of them have all fallen out.
Crazy, isn't it? Did we not talk about this? How the high X counts don't always mean.
Yep.
And sometimes that's out of pressure. Think about it. You feel like you've shot better than the others and you walk in and did.
So those that got eliminated in this round, Gaius Carter, Bobby Eiler, and Justin Hanna all fell by the wayside. That means we're left with 4. And Rio here in end number 5, as we were down to 7. Sergio Pagny, look at his shot. And there's nothing really to analyze as we get this deep into this talent, is there, Rio? I mean, they just all do it in their unique way, and they all do it really well. Gaius Carter had a look, and he knew, but Bodie Turner is shredding right now. All 4 of these shooters shooting with extreme confidence. There's a look at 15 years old in one day. Bodie Turner out of Washington. And he stormed onto the scene in front of the general public, really. I mean, they know about him in Washington. They know about him on the West Coast. And he'd been shooting 660 rounds for the last couple of months. Then he goes into Lancaster Archery Classic and shoots 660, and it really just lit him up. People started following him. His phone started ringing. And now, just a week later, he's here in Vegas.
Yeah, I'd heard about him for a while because in Idaho, I have friends from Washington, and they're like, yeah, this kid, you should see this kid, he can shoot. And he's been doing it for a while. So.
Rules the same thing. Please remember, this is for $50,000. All right? Here we go.
You'd think it was Bruce's personal money, don't you? He loves doing this. He loves reminding him, hey, let's put some pressure on you. All right.
Good luck.
Championship Compound Open, end number 6. 4 archers remain for $50,000. Dan McCarthy will be our first shooter. For score, X's count as 10s only. And he gets the first one. Highest score needs to be matched to move on.
Of all 3 arrows. That's the one part that, like, right now, I mean, when they've shot one, but it's... Man, it's going to be tough to separate these guys. They've all shot so good, and they're all looking really comfortable.
And the heartbreak is that you have your podium right here, but there's one that won't make it.
Yep.
Nick Capper's fans would love to see it. But right now, it just all feels like Bodie Turner. He could literally set the world on fire if he can win this one. Catches that line, no problem. Once again, the crowd erupts. Dan's shot looks really good right now.
Yeah. Well, every one of them does. Let's be honest. I haven't seen one that I'm like, ooh, that's a real hiccup or a real catch. They all look very, very solid.
Sergio Pagny on one of the most unique releases in all of archery. But it works for him. The one thing you can guarantee with Sergio is, doesn't matter if he upgrades his bow every single year, whatever he's running sight-wise, stabilizer-wise, he just keeps running it because it works for him.
Yeah.
Because guess what? The target's still 40 meters and it's still 20 yards downrange.
Yeah.
Turner keeps it going.
No, everybody's still in.
Everyone is still in.
Everyone has shot good arrows, and they're all still solid.
Yeah, we could be here till Thursday. The quality of shooters we have right now.
Oh, there's your 30 to start it off. A little more movement on that last arrow, but it's still solid.
It seemed like a little longer hold for Sergio than normal. Nick Cappers.
Solid quick shot.
Yep.
3 good solid arrows.
Everyone's clean after end number 6.
Archers to the line. Good luck.
To end number 7. We still haven't decided even the podium here at Las Vegas Shoot. Dan McCarthy, Sergio Pagni, Nick Cappers, and Bodie Turner still in it for $50,000.
I have a funny story to tell you.
Go ahead.
Danny's got some fuzz on the top of his riser. And the other day we were shooting, I shot by him during the first 2 days, and he's like, it's good to rub, it calms you down.
The fuzz. Oh yeah, right there,
see it?
right in the back of the, no kidding.
He's like, just as good to rub and calm down. I said, well, that's funny. That's a new trick that I've never seen before. And if he goes on to win it, there'll be a lot of fuzz on some bows, I can tell you that.
Waiting for the buzzer. There we go.
What's going on?
So it looks like Dan McCarthy dropped an arrow.
Oh, Sergio's got an arrow halfway down.
He does. So Sergio Pagni has an arrow on the floor. It's gone past the line. So for Sergio, that's a 0.
That's 100% 0. Because as you can see, there's a yellow line in front of them. If an arrow passes there, it's considered a shot arrow. What a way to be eliminated.
Wow. Also for the people standing right next to him to have to refocus.
Yeah.
So Sergio Pagni actually chooses to step off the line. At this point, I kind of don't blame him.
Yeah, but it's still hard.
Yeah, it is.
10.
Okay, so now we're down to 3. So for Dan McCarthy, that one was a 10. His first arrow.
It's close.
It's close. It's a questionable call.
So they're going to let the time run as if Sergio was shooting. Man, what a heartbreak. What a heartbreak.
There's the arrow. I would say, what, Rio? Maybe a third of the way, a quarter of the way down.
And that will expire the time for Sergio Pagni.
Obviously, a cheer from the crowd. Most of these archers have been where Sergio is, not for $50,000, but they've been there. So heartbreak for the Italian. Now we're back.
It's got to be hard for Capers to do this. I mean, like, literally, like, just that whole thing.
10.
But he did it. Solid. Take a deep breath, because you just are Capers. It really is something.
Boom goes Bodie.
So Bodie Turner.
He's put a lot in the middle. A lot in the middle.
He just looks so calm.
Yeah.
So now we know what our podium looks like. It's between Dan McCarthy, Nick Cappers, and Bodie Turner.
Now it's going to be to that arrow call.
Yep.
Now they're going to let the time run again for Sergio.
Yeah. They have to,
And
because
Nick's like going, am I shooting? Am I not? And that's what I'm saying. Like, this is a hard part. Like, to me, Sergio should have almost tried to do it just to keep it. They reset it and started it for him.
yeah. Sergio did have the option to step back on the line and shoot. That's why they have to
100%.
go through the process.
Nick has a 10-9 line.
I think it's there.
I think so too. I think for Nick Cappers, he's in the most difficult position, and I don't think that was Sergio's intent at all.
No.
10 and the
Bodie, no problem.
Well, you got 2 arrow calls now, or Bodie could be your champion.
Could it be end number 7? Or we have a new champ? So Bodie Turner sets the benchmark. Don't think there's anything in question there. It's a solid 30.
Solid 30.
Turner, 30.
Confirmation. Now it all depends on this arrow call for Cappers. Did it drop low? And if it's a 29, that's the arrow in question. This could be it. Bodie Turner at 15 years old could be your Compound Open champion, but we just don't know just yet. Let's get a close look. Maximum diameter arrows, 27s.
Papers, 30.
You got 30.
Yep. So we still got a game.
Yeah. So Nick Capper's still in the mix. Now another arrow call for Dan McCarthy.
And it looks like it could be there. The way the arrow hole kicked, it's going to be a tough one to call.
I guarantee you they're going to change faces after this one.
Well, I guarantee it. I can agree with you 100% on that. The anguish that Danny's got to be going through, it's just so hard when it's your turn to get the arrow called and you're like, what are they saying? What are they doing?
Yeah, at least Sergio, when he walked to the target and picked up his arrow that was laying on the ground, he knew it.
Give a big round of applause to third
Yeah, it
place.
looks like Dan McCarthy.
Dan McCarthy.
That arrow dropped low, so Dan will be in 3rd place. A good run for Dan McCarthy. He'll still stand on the podium.
Yep.
And look what we have going on here.
2 young guns going at it. Both on the podium last weekend at Lancaster, and now they're making a run at the Vegas title.
And we will be shooting for the champion here between Bodie Turner and Nick Capers.
Astonishing run, Dan McCarthy with that low arrow. As Sergio Pagni, you can see Dan McCarthy and Sergio, you can see the arrow sitting on the ground. So McCarthy, that first arrow, he looked through the binos, wasn't happy with it, then disaster for him. But for Bodie Turner and Nick Cappers, they continue to pound out these X's. So Dan McCarthy will be credited for 3rd. Sergio Pagni will fall out of this one. So after end number 7 and the exit of Sergio Pagni with an error and an arrow past the 3-meter line, counting as 0 points, and Dan McCarthy dropping 1 low arrow for 29. It comes down to Bodie Turner and Nick Cappers. Washington versus Minnesota for $50,000.
For your excellent show of sportsmanship and precision. Congratulations on placement here in Vegas.
All right, gentlemen. Once again, $50,000 on the line here. How many times have you shot Vegas?
My 2nd time.
How about you, young man?
3rd time.
You know, I'm not supposed to ask you your age, but I can tell you right now, this young man is half the age of this young man. And we're going to have some fun here, aren't we? Are you guys excited about this?
Oh, yeah.
You want to take a break?
No.
How about you? Do you want to, no breaks? Restroom, anything?
I'm good. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Same rules. Archers to the line. Good luck.
Championship Compound Open, end number 8 for $50,000. We are down to just 2 archers, Nick Cappers and Bodie Turner.
And we will have a new Vegas champion. Neither one of these 2 have ever won it, so it will be a new one.
10.
And between these 2 archers, this is Nick Cappers' 2nd time to Vegas and Bodie's 3rd.
10.
Oof.
His last end was pretty amazing. There wasn't even a question on it.
10.
Nick Cappers has had quite a pressure-filled 9 days in his life.
Yeah, for sure. Make a good payday back-to-back if he wins this one, too.
Certainly would.
10.
Oh, did not love that one, but the
No.
landing, not your favorite takeoff, but good landing.
That's what happens when you have what we call a forgiving setup.
Yeah. No, he didn't like that one.
He launched that one early. That could be it. This is it. This is the arrow for $50,000. Can a 15-year-old win this one? A 10? Looks like it could take it all.
Oh, he did.
He got a little enthusiastic, did Bodie Turner. Don't blame him.
Yeah.
Look how clean that target looks. It all comes down to this arrow call.
Big round of applause to second place.
Second place goes to Nick Cappers from Minnesota. That means the 2022 Vegas champion out of Washington, 15-year-old Bodie Turner.
I just knew all I could do was keep my release moving. I was shaking like crazy on that, but shot a good shot and it made it in there. My dad shot IQ, so I know how to at least shoot under a lot of pressure, and I've been taught that since I was very young. So yeah, I've just a lot of years of training for it, and it finally paid off.
So after 8 ends of competition, it all came down to Bodie Turner. A perfect 30, and he was able to wrap it up. 15 years old and a day and $50,000 richer. And we'll do it again next year from the Vegas Shoot 2023.